Hi, I'm Kozuchowski from GolfWRX.com. I'm here with Gidge Moody, a product line manager for Nike Golf. Gidge, the biggest story for Nike Golf in 2013, aside from all the athletes you've signed to your tour staff, has been the VRS Covert driver. Now, they've been on tour for about 2 months now. What have tour players noticed in their fittings with the new Covert and Covert Tour drivers?
Well, a couple things that they're noticing right away. Obviously, launch and spin are key to their performance and maximizing their performance. So over the last 10 years, it's been the control of launch and spin where these players have noticed the most gain from prior decades and the management of that. Again, these drivers really focus and help those players manage their launch and spin because of our ability to adjust all the various loft settings and their face positions. So they can get a driver dialed in to their feel, to their flex, so on, and then we go and we measure their launch and spin characteristics, which really get dialed in. The Covert Tour has a little bit less spin than the Covert driver, and so depending on a player's characteristics and where they like to see their launch window and their final spin characteristics, they've really been successful at either one of the two drivers working very well for them to maximize their performance.
Now, I know it's player dependent, but just about how much less spin does the slightly smaller Covert Tour create for, let's say, your average tour player?
Well, we can see about 300 to 500 RPMs of difference. So out here today with our PGA pros that we've been working with throughout there, they've been remarking how they're seeing a significant difference in their spin dropping down and the ball just barreling through the wind. So they're pretty happy with that. It's more difficult to lower spin than it is to increase spin. That's always been a big challenge for manufacturers. So it's easy to create a high spinning product. So having this offering for them really helps the players dial in their products.
Now, there's two competing storylines from major OEMs this year as far as drivers. Companies like Ping are trying to move the weight and thus the CG as far back and as low as possible. TaylorMade is trying to move the weight as low and as forward as possible. Now, you've cut essentially the back out of your driver, creating a cavity back driver.
That's correct.
Where is the center of gravity in this head?
Well, the center of gravity is actually more towards the center of the club that you see here, or the tip of the cavity itself. We actually like moving it forward. We actually like to keep it as low as possible. So that scenario that TaylorMade has is a good one there. The lower it is, the easier it is to get the ball up in the air. So that's a big benefit. The problem with having it so far back, and certainly we experience this from our big-headed drivers, is that you get the stability, but the problem is the ball goes up in the air pretty well, but it wants to continue spinning. So again, you're creating a lot of spin, which isn't that good for the majority of players, especially touring professionals. They hate a ball that's ballooning on them a great deal. They want to be able to knuckle it out there and really get a long flight from it, a long penetrating flight, I should say. So what we've done by moving the cavity back is we've been able to move that center of gravity up forward, but move the weight to the heel and toe. So we're maintaining the stability that one sees from having center of gravity back, and we're allowing the club to give the proper launch and spin characteristics.